All right, guys, welcome to video 2 of lesson 1.2. We are adding and subtracting real numbers still in the first video. If you have not watched that yet, please go back and watch that. We went over how to add real numbers. Now we're going to go over to how to subtract real numbers and then a little bit of absolute value as well. All right, so here we're looking at example 2. We're subtracting real numbers. When subtracting two numbers with the same sign, your answer will have the sign of those numbers. So if we subtract two positives, we'll get a positive. If we subtract two negatives, we'll get a negative. Okay. When subtracting two numbers with different signs, your answer will have the sign of the larger of the two numbers. It's very similar to addition. Okay, so kind of the same rule there. Whatever of the larger the two numbers, that's the sign our number or our answer will have. Okay, so now it says find the difference of the real numbers. So the first thing we need to know now is what difference means. Anytime we see the word difference, we are talking about subtraction. Okay, if we went back and referenced that chart from lesson 1.1, you would see that under the subtraction sign, under the word subtraction, the word difference would be there. It means we are subtracting. Okay, so right now it says A. We have, or for example, 2A, we have 7 minus 10. Okay, so 7 minus 10. There's a few ways we could do this. You could put it on your calculator. And then you would get the right answer if that's what you're interested in. Put it in Desmos, get the right answer. We could also look at the number line. Okay, we have 7 minus 10. So that means we're going to start at 7 here, and we're going to go to the left because we are subtracting. We go to the left, adding, we go to the right. We're going to go to the left 10 spots. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Where I land is going to be my answer. In this case, my answer is -3. So I have 7 minus 10. 7 minus 10 equals -3. Okay. If you put that in a calculator, you would get that same answer. All right. 7 minus 10 is -3. Okay. Now we have -3 minus 12. All right. So same type thing. We could put it in our calculator, or we could look at the number line and count 12 spaces to the left, starting with -3. As you can see, this number line doesn't go all the way to what our answer is, but if we wanted to start here, we would go -3, we would go 10 spaces to, or 12 spaces to the left. So we go -3 minus 12, we'd go 12 spaces to the left, and that would give us -15. Okay, so the answer to -3 minus 12 is -15. If we put in a calculator, we would also get that same answer, and that is more than okay to do. Okay. Now, C is a little bit different. Okay, we have -11 minus a -12. I want you guys to pay attention to this because it's very, very important, pretty critical to this part of the lesson. So we have -11 minus -12. Anytime that you see two negatives like this right next to each other, so anytime we're subtracting a negative, right? Anytime we have two negatives right next to each other, we have a negative here and a negative here, we turn that into a giant plus sign just by doing this. Okay. So I'm going to make that a giant plus sign. Two negatives make a positive. Two negatives always make a positive, all right? So anytime we're subtracting two negatives, we make a giant plus sign. My new problem is now -11 plus a +12. So what we would do, we'd go to -11. We don't have a -11. Actually, -11 is right here. We would go to the right 12 spaces. Okay, we would go to the right 12 spaces. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That makes us land on +1. That is correct. The correct answer to this problem is now +1. Okay, so for 2C, this is a +1. All right. So anytime that we have two negatives right next to each other, that makes a giant positive. Remember, always two negatives make a positive. Okay. Two negatives make a positive. So as you can see, -11 minus -12 ends up being -11 plus a +12, which comes out to a +1. Okay. If you put this in your calculator, -11 minus -12 or -11 plus 12, you would still get +1. All right. So in the next video, I will explain a little bit about absolute value and go through those examples. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys.